some consistency here. They want expectancy. So instead, we hire somebody, right? And in their profile online, it says, this person has an uncanny ability to assess company strengths and weaknesses, develop strategies for structural changes that will increase business efficiency and profitability. We're not a business. We're a school. We're not supposed to make a profit. You're supposed to care about people. And we want to help kids, and you're just chopping us off like nothing. You can do all the restructuring you want. You can reorganize it. You can furlough. You can terminate. But you're not fixing the problem. You need to fix the problem and not just get rid of people. These people here are the most intelligent people. We do the jobs every day, and you don't ask the people who know. You keep bringing in John Doe off the street and say, here, I'll give you $135,000, even though you've never been here for the last 13 years like Michelle Poskin, but hey, I'll give you a nice, good, big old paycheck and just chop this place up. We used to talk about how to retain and gain students, and now your only discussion is how to just get rid of us. So, my next little thing, remember the Titans. When people just aren't getting along and not working together, attitude reflects leadership, captains. So, you're going to make these kids do Dora-Doma. You're going to do the CDT. Then you're going to say you got to travel to PSSAs. Let's listen to the families. Too many times I've heard families say, I am not having my kid do one more test. They're frustrated. That's the problems we need to fix. Not get rid of the people who are the listening, compassionate ears. You need to fix the problem, not get rid of the people who actually care and listen. You're not listening to anybody, and that's really frustrating. No one ever asks the people who actually use the technology every day. And you have extremely intelligent people sitting right here that are brilliant, who are not making six-figure salaries, who could easily do the job. So again, attitude reflects leadership. One more little quote. So this would have been my 8th year, and every in-service day we used to have really amazing speakers and really amazing, just inspirational talks that I always listen to. Hold on, I'm sure you can see I listen now.
You do.
Okay, well. So Mr. Plum, he couldn't go to sleep that night just thinking about that man. Plum says, wondering what he might have looked like in that Navy uniform. A white hat, a bib in the back, bell-bottom trousers. I wonder how many times I might have seen him and not even said, good morning, how are you? I used to be greeted by a boss. Just to come through, just to say hi to everybody. How you doing? How's your job going? You having a good day today? I used to be greeted with that stuff. So, good morning, how are you? Or anything, because you see, I was a fighter pilot, and he was just a sailor. Plum thought of the many hours the sailor had spent on a long wooden table in the bows of the ship, carefully weaving the shrouds and folding the silks of each chute, holding in his hands each time the fate of someone he did not even know. We are packing your parachutes. We pack your parachutes. If your spaceship is flying and you're falling out of the sky, you will still get to live because we packed your parachute. And you don't even know who we are. You don't even know our names. And that used to be another principle here, was know every student by name. And I knew my students. I cared. I could tell you everything about their personal life. And I'm being let go to keep a six-figure person here who hasn't even been here for a year. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. And you know, when I get an email, and the premise of this email is saying that we have to do the budget cuts. And when you see that your top person has made $43,000 extra in the last 4 years, from 2012 making $110,000 to this year making $153,000, when you're going to send me an email that says I'm losing my job due to budget cuts, yet you've gotten a $14,000 raise every year for the last 3 to 4 years, doesn't make sense. And if you're going to send me an email and tell me that my seniority doesn't count, when I was an instructional supervisor and I was a team captain and I sat and made evaluations for people and I trained new hires for 5 years and I then switched to be in the virtual classroom, to stay home and be more available for my son for 2 years, you're going to tell me that those first 5 years don't even count? That I have low seniority because I moved a department? I'm still a PA cyber employee. You can't just erase my 5 years when I'm fully capable of doing other jobs here. So don't send me an email to tell me I'm losing my job because of low budget and that they're cutting by seniority. Dr. Trombetta would say, do you hear the train blowing? His father, one of his many stories, would say, you hear the train whistle, it means people are working. It means there's jobs. And it means they have a salary to take care of their family. And it means they have health insurance to help them stay healthy. He wanted people to have jobs. That's what this was built on. He wanted people to have jobs. So you can cut other programs to let people have jobs and take care of their families.
Okay, so I am currently an 11-year employee here. I probably shouldn't be speaking, but I'm going to put myself on the line. At the beginning of the year, we sat with Alan and Dr. Ponte in the same room where you guys told us, guys, this year is going to be tough, but we're going to get through it. We want to listen to you. We want to know your ideas. And we flooded your emails with ideas. I know I did. And when you start here, when we started, we were in the worst system. We had no clue what we were doing in special ed. And over those 11 years, when we were doing it, we were the innovators. We innovated this. There's no other school that's been here longer than us. We are the innovators. The people that have been here for 11 years, we're the experts. We're hiring, I just looked her up, Sally Chamberlain, who's an educational consultant. That's money that we could probably use because this whole room is filled with educational
Yes, it is.
Nobody knows this school better than the teachers. Carl, come ask us. We would love to talk to you. Teachers love to talk. Know that. We will talk your ear off. We will tell you, hey, this isn't working so much. Nobody's asked us. Nobody's asked the teachers board. Nobody's asked the teachers who have been keeping this alive for 13, 15 years. Nobody's asked us. You set us that first day, then after that, I don't know where anybody else was, but we couldn't get hold of you. For this event, our in-service, which tomorrow's going to be rough. I don't know if anybody else is as nervous as I am about how you guys are going to get us ready for this year. Because it's taking place in the Dome that we're paying $24,000 for. I know we like to talk about, this is on the agenda. I know, 5.4. Tomorrow's is, but next week is in the Dome. It's on the agenda. So Lincoln Park, which is what, like $2,000 to rent, we're paying $24,000 for a CCBC Dome. This is on the, I think we've all been to in-services these past 4 years. Our internet's never worked. We got absolutely nothing accomplished that day. But remember our in-services when we all broke up and wrote our code? Remember that when we all used to meet together, when we didn't need internet because we talked to each other? I'm not really sure. I know that there probably is some weirdness with people who belong on our board and on the CCBC board. So $24,000 going to CCBC, when I look at all these people that I worked with, seems a little crazy to me. But there are two things right here that we can work on with budget. Just something for you all to look at, and you guys are all in my thoughts. We're all behind you, all of us there.
extended the time so that everybody may speak. I'm just going to ask that you take a reasonable amount of time. This is not a courtroom, it's a public meeting.
I appreciate that.
But
It's important for these people to be heard.
yes, I understand, but we will spend time to allow everybody here to speak.
I just, before John speaks, because he tends to steal the show, I just wanted to thank the board for listening and considering what we have to say. I was struck by everyone who spoke. If you noticed, they spoke about themselves, but they also all spoke about how to make PA Cyber better again. And so I hope when you're making your decision, you will consider that.
Shane, has everyone gotten a chance to speak? I don't know how
They
many
have,
people are on
and
the
that's
list.
they have.
You know,
And that's why we've extended time to allow.
I appreciate that. I do have some important points I think should be brought out. And I think they're important from the standpoint, I don't know if everybody could hear me remotely. Do we still have a quorum?
I believe so.
Did we have a quorum to begin with?
We did have a
All
time
right.
to begin with.
Well, I can't hear when people leave and come back in, so I assume that there's someone who tracks that. So I assume the quorum is there. My concern is that you've had federally funded employees who are about to be laid off. I guess it's tomorrow. We've had this discussion as far as their health care benefits.
Well,
There's,
we're not going to address specific employees.
no, I don't want you to, but there was a point about health care, and I believe it was said that the health care could be terminated at a moment's notice, that the fact that you paid the premiums at the beginning of the month didn't mean that those health care benefits continued for the month. And there was some, Mr. Farrell and I and council had some discussion about whether or not that was accurate or not. I think these people deserve to know if you are in fact going to lay them off tonight, effective tonight, that their health care benefits have been paid at the first of the month, and if they will continue for the rest of the month. That's an important consideration. My concern is that, as you know, the federal funds are to be used for remediation for pupils. PA Cyber has spent a month's worth of salary and fringe benefits for people to stay home. And that's mainly because of the actions that were taken on July 20th. I don't know what the separation package is on the agenda, but it was on the agenda on the August 5th meeting. It's difficult to address items on the agenda at the open session when you don't know what the item on the agenda is going to refer to. And I'll just briefly say to you that that is an agenda item, as is the approval of the finance reports, as is the approval of the minutes from the July 20th meeting. It's difficult to address those particular issues when I don't have a copy of the minutes of the July 20th meeting that you're going to vote on, when I don't have a copy of the general fund balance sheet, profit and loss statement as of June 30th. And I was wondering if you might have that available for the public to look at, so that they may at least be able to intelligently comment on things you're about to vote on.
Off here if we're not answering questions.
All right, so we get to comment on obtuse statements in an agenda that's prepared and posted online less than 24 hours ago, less than 24. That is your definition of having an open meeting concept. Well, I have a problem because I think that it's been said in court, it's been said here, it's been said in the newspaper. You're not laying off 43 people. That was in July. Then it became 42. And I'm not sure how that number got from 43 to 42, just as I'm not sure how 42 got to 41 tonight. And I challenge board members to maybe ask that question before they vote. Who's left off? Where's Waldo? There's a way to save money. And I expressed an interest in sharing that with the board, if they so chose. They chose not to. That's your right. There is a problem, though, because I disagree with the statements made about Mr. Humes. This is not an ad hominem attack. You don't attack anybody like that. Especially someone who has 365-degree vision by his own words. So you're paying $135,000, that's his budget. You want to save money, get somebody that only has 360-degree vision. I don't know where the other 5 degrees is. You have a situation where you spent $815,935 program support curriculum? No. That was to a law firm in Mechanicsburg, Latshaw, Davis, and McKenna a year ago. You got rid of them and you replaced them with East Council, Mr. Farrell's firm. Only problem is Mr. Farrell's firm made $188,000 last year from NNDS. And I thought part of your charter was to separate yourself from NNDS. By last count, and this is August 31st, Exhibit A on your charter,
NNDS made
you
a decision.
hired
You gotta bring it
62
on in.
new people last year. Now, you've already posted position openings for 2 people and teachers. But you laid off 2 teachers. How does this work? You have a situation where you're approving minutes from July 20th. I haven't seen the minutes. Your attorney says you didn't vote in executive session. We know you didn't vote in open session. So the question is, what are the minutes going to say? I wanted to bring to your attention one woman who can't be here tonight. Her name is Liz. Liz worked a combination of 10 years at NNDS and Cyber. Liz made a grand total of less than $30,000. Liz had a girl, Tiffany, graduated from Cyber, got a girl, Taylor, who's currently in Lincoln Park. Liz was let go. She used to be a purchasing agent, purchasing manager, accounts payable, and now she's gone. 10 years, gone. That's the face that you put on this action. That's the face that I want board members to consider when you look at these names and you see Liz Fair, and you know that you're eliminating her, a loyal Cyber employee, a loyal parent who sent her kid here, who now sends her kid to Lincoln Park. What is to be done with her? Do you know these people? Did you know in advance that they were going to get marked for extinction? I think that, I looked a little bit about the Board of Trustees, what's available. Ms. Garbinsky, you're on the CCBC Foundation. I mean, you try to do, you're not? Oh, okay, I thought you were. But you try to do good things. At least you participated in a golf tournament fundraiser. And if you didn't, then there's a lot of bad information on the internet. But the bottom line is that between you and I looked at social media for Miss Lingenfelter, and I noticed that she was very concerned about what was going on here, as was Phil. But the bottom line was that the only way that you're going to get input about things that you're going to vote on is when people know what you're going to vote on. There's a severance package. Oh, by the way, I meant to remind you, I gave your attorney a letter. You're all invited to Beaver County Courthouse Courtroom Number 2 at 9:30 on
Mr. Havey, please,
August
for the relevance
25th.
of this, okay?
Yes, I understand. Just as a reminder, so that we're on
Let's get to your
record
point, okay.
that you've been subpoenaed and you will have an opportunity to talk for longer than 60 minutes.
Well, would you please, sir?
I
conclude
certainly
your
will.
remarks?
That's August 25th at 9:30. You have a situation where some people are making quite a bit of money, and if you looked at the amounts that you've generated in increased salaries to your top administrators over the last few years, you'll find that you could have saved a couple jobs if you took the time to do that. But you haven't done it. So you're going to vote on something now, tonight, that's going to tell people that you have duly considered all of their personal circumstances and felt that you can save money. And yet, the only savings that I have heard